My name is Parita Siska Camelia. My metric number 260530. In this video, I'm going to present and express my opinion regarding selling and buying human organ. We know that human organ is a part of body that is very important to support human life, and million people around the world are on waiting list for organ donor in order to survive their life. And based on United Network for Organ Sharing, more than 120,000 people around US are on active waiting list for organ transplant, and about 20 people die every day due to the lack of organs of life. And due to the significant demand with a small number of donors, patients need to wait more than 3 to 5 years uh, for someone to wait to get a new kidney. And with the scarcity of kidney donor and also increasing demand every year, I believe that human organ trade and also known as red market is ethical in the business. And I agree that red market is allowed as long as the donor organ are willing to sell their organ without any coercion from any other parties. And based on utilitarianism principle, this principle aims to maximize happiness for users, and the decision must provide the most significant possible benefit for both parties. And this is also similar with organ trade. The donor sell their organ to someone who need organ to save their life. And apart from keeping another person's life, the seller also benefit for the payment of their organ, and also the buyer get an organ to save their life. So that there is a mutually beneficial situation between the both parties. And even though in the business red market is considered as ethical, however, in the process of selling and also buying organ is considered as illegal or unethical in the global perspective. Organ trade also become related to kind categorical imperative, where people need to act like what other rational people think, and it is become a universal law. Organ trade activity become a norm for the people to believe that organ trade is illegal act for everyone, and it become a stereotype in the white society. And even though someone who carry out organ trade has a clear reason and also aim to save another people's life, um, but society keep things that the organ trade is something that is not good and will be harmful, because the society believe that organ trade will cause undesirable thing like human trafficking, and also make organ and also human life into something worthless. Therefore, this is the solution. I think there need to be clear rules and also the policies of the red market. Buyer need to reach agreement that is required both parties to meet each other mutually agree on the sale of organ before carrying out to transplant operation. And if this practice is controlled with the clear policies and also regulation, this can be solution that red market can avoid kidnapping, human trafficking, and also organ trade in the black market. This is because organ seller and buyer need to meet each other in person, and also make sure that is no coercion from any other party, and they are clearly understand about the health effect that might be happen in the future. And I think that's all my opinion about the selling and buying human organ. And thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum and greeting to my lecturer and my fellow friends. My name is Nur Siti Fazila binti Abu Bakar, metric number 272430. In my opinion, selling and buying organ is unethical. This is because of two reasons. The first one is exploitation of the rich people. When trading of an organ happen, only the parties can buy the organ if the party have money and power. The poor can get an opportunity to get a donor as soon as possible. Based on the situation, the poor person needed the organ more than the rich people. The second point is wrongly exploitation of vulnerable people. This is because some parties take advantage of the situation. For example, when the authorities take advantage of the patient that die in the hospital, they taking the organ without family knows the actions and selling it to other parties illegally. Next, I'm going to explain my justification for my opinion. The first one is moral right. Moral right can be focused on securing the interests of individual. So in these situations, there's no moral right will practice on the poor side. Since the rich people have the whole advantage in trading organ, the poor cannot get the donors since they don't have money to afford it. If the selling and buying organ allowable in Malaysia, contractual right and duty should be made. The important ethical rule that should have in the contract is the parties know what they are agreed to. No misrepresentations, no duress or coercions, and no agreement to an immoral act. Next is justice. I'm using distribute justice under socialist, which state that according needs and ability, there's no justice in selling and buying of organs, since the people have need organ, but not all of them have ability to earn it. That's why trading of organ is unethical from my opinion. Next is utilitarian principle. Is if Malaysia allowed their people buying and selling organ, utilitarian principle should be considered, which mean authorities need have a policy alternative action for buying and selling organ. The calculation should be made for every cost and benefit to determine the finance of each action. Management need to make a list for those who really need the organ first and can buy the organ. And also need to have a foundation to help the poor to buy organ. The best policies should be produced.
Good day everyone, my name is Salsabila Faradila, metric number 261211, and now I'm going to share you my opinion regarding this issue. So according to the Global Burden of Disease, GBD, approximately there are 1.5 million people die each year from kidney disease, which is roughly equal to all the other traffic fatalities in this world. So in the United States, it is estimated that 123,000 organ transplants are required, with 20 being performed every day due to shortage of kidneys. Currently, there is a severe shortage of donated kidneys, and patients must wait a long time to receive new kidney due to high demand and a small number of donors. In my opinion, with the given situation where there is no coercion, selling one organs on trade market is considered ethical. As defined by the British Medical Bulletin, the ethical principle that underpins the voluntary donation is consent. Furthermore, under utilitarianism, decisions that provide the greatest benefit to society should be chosen. Whereas mutualism in the act benefits both parties, the buyer receives a functioning organ and the seller profits from the trade. However, even if the practice is ethical and acceptable, the purchasing of selling of organs in the red market is still illegal. When people realize how far they could go to achieve their goal, they might see this as a business opportunity where the wealthy ones are willing to give up their assets to obtain health, and the poor people on the other hand may be forced to sell their body parts in order to meet their basic needs. As a result, there is a thriving black market. In this case, it's called red market for illegal organs and human trafficking. Furthermore, for medical reasons, there are people who are unable or willing to donate their organs, which will have an impact on those who receive them. Despite the importance of having guidelines to follow in order to provide quality care, procedures and policies must be based on their laws and statutory health codes. It's called the medical ethics and also the bioethics. So for both the recipient and the donor, we should weigh the benefits against the risks in terms of probability and magnitude. Before a person who are able to donate an organ speaks about their motivations, they must have a clear understanding of the risks and benefits of doing so. The organ trade is inextricably linked with the to the phenomenon of people being kidnapped and sold into human trafficking, which cannot be denied. This is the fact. Because most people believe that poverty causes crime. The government should never forget that many people in this world are willing to sell their organs to avoid financial ruin. And there are already so many cases about this. So it is too common to see sellers who are desperate to sell their kidneys due to financial stress, debt, entitlement, or compulsion. The design of an allocation plan call is required in this situation because the goal of the trade is to save life, relieve suffering, eliminate physical and mental disabilities, and also benefit society. Other considerations also include expected future years of following diagnosis and years of following transplantation. That's all for my part. Thank you. And I'm passing this to my friend Dex.
Hi, my name is Sofia Azrina binti Roslain, my matric number 272462. So now it's my turn to express my opinion regarding with the topic selling and buying of human organs. So let's start. An organ system is an organ that cooperates to perform a critical function in an organism body. If one of the organ system is not functioning, then buying and selling the organ would happen to save their life. I believe the look at how the physical body works highlights the importance of buying and selling of the organ. Patients have an option of receiving organ donation from living donors who are their blood relative or spouse, and such can be done locally. Some may get from other countries. It is related to the legal rights of the patients to look into other options, and we can stop them from going to other countries. In this situation, it can be considered as contractual rights and duties of an individual. The specific agreement and conferred only on parties involved, which is between the donors and patient's relative. Then it should be publicly accepted, such as patients and family members, in the rules on what constitute agreement and obligation agreement imposed. All contract that occurred between patients and donors should observe by ethical rules which the parties know what they are agreeing, such as hospital. Other than that, there is no misrepresentation, no duress or coercion, and no agreement to an immoral act. Okay, let's continue. Some people say that donating an organ is an illegal activity because they say that selling an internal body part is always wrong. It is because of a respect for the dignity of humanity. But for me, it is not wrong as long as you are in line with the law and the right way. Your good intention will make other people happy, but selling an organ in a forceful way is really a big no. Okay? It is about a willingness by someone to do so, not by people's force. Buying and selling of the human organ is related to utilitarianism principle. Action and policy should be evaluated on the basis of the benefits and costs they will impose on society. In this topic, it is related with the human lives. To avoid people from abuse of power, every country should have their own law and regulation regarding this matter. By having a guideline and law regulation, there will not happen any illegal activities such as kidnapping the child, especially in order to sell their organ in other countries. Okay, as a result, protection and ethical requirements must follow, and legal of organ transplants. In a legal condition, donors are safe and cared for, while in the illegal condition, donors can be taken advantage of and neglected. Thank you. That's all from me.
Hello everyone, my name is Punchimpe, matric number 268030. Today I'm going to share my opinions on selling and buying human organs. In my opinion, it is an illegal activity. If someone sells or buys a human organ without involving other parties, it causes a lot of illegal activity for those who are wishes to earn money for themselves. First and foremost, selling and buying human organ is an illegal activity due to money earns. They wish to earn more money so they could sell the human organ at the highest price. Furthermore, by selling and buying human organ would be destroying life. In India, Sri Lanka, Brazil, Philippines, Turkey, and wherever who sells the human organ that have damaged the family of seller and their community. Many families are asking for a kidney in exchange for an unsafe pages to independence. Therefore, by selling and buying human organ would be create an unfair system in which the rich had access to body parts at the cost of those who could not afford life-saving transplant. For the poor people may have to sell body parts to meet the urgent financial needs, resulting in a circumstance in which people are functionally coerced into giving up organs by capitalism inequality. By using utilitarianism principle, action must be taken in this kind of situation. People should not involve in selling and buying human organs activity. People should not sell and buy human organs at sees of money earns and own benefits. In addition, I could recommend the seller and buyer must respect the other people's human organs based on their moral right so that will not be destroying life. Meanwhile, to reduce unfair system by selling and buying human organs, we have a moral right to morally repugnant transactions which often include the purchase and sales of bodily services. So, that's all from me. Thank you.